Go ahead.
What movie are we doing today?
The Dark Phoenix.
What's that about?
Oh, it's based on a Vicki Lawrence song about the night that the lights went out in Arizona.
Hard pass.
I was just kidding. Okay, so in all honesty, we are doing the Dark Phoenix, and this should be a little bit of a unique perspective because Lainey, you've never seen an X-Men film and you don't know the X-Men characters at all, correct?
Nope.
Right, so she's never seen any of the X-Men films. She's never read an X-Men comic. We've made some vague references to the X-Men once or twice. On the other hand, I've been through all the ups and downs of the X-Men franchise. I had read the comics when I was a kid, and the film franchise, of course, has been all over the map. So you're going to get the perspective of somebody who's been through the franchise films and somebody who would be coming to this trailer fresh, and we'll see if this would be something that she would want to see afterwards. Ready? Mm-hmm. All right.
You think you can fix me?
Jean, you are not broken. The mind is a fragile thing. It takes only the slightest tap to tip it in the wrong direction.
Charles, what did you do?
I had to keep her stable. I protected her.
She's a mutant, which means she's a superhero because she has strange powers. Her power is mind power. So she can cause that.
There's another word for that.
They're all mutants.
I came looking for answers.
You feel like you don't belong here. You don't. They can't begin to comprehend what you are.
She's changing.
And what?
You didn't come here looking for answers. You came here looking for permission. Jean. She's all rage, pain. It's all coming out at once. Jean lost control. Is she still our friend? This is your fault, Charles. The world is on the brink. I'm sorry. I didn't stop it sooner.
You're always sorry, Charles. And there's always a speech. And nobody cares.
There's still hope. Don't do this.
They're right to fear me.
I've seen evil. And I'm looking at it now.
Okay, so why don't you give me your thoughts on it before I say anything?
I did not like it.
How come?
I just thought it was very confusing and I didn't get it.
And I can completely understand as somebody coming new to the table here, so somebody who has no frame of reference whatsoever, this would be very difficult to follow in a trailer. Did you have any feeling that these were superheroes?
Not exactly. I mean, I guess they kind of.
Did they seem heroic to you like the Avengers?
No.
What did they seem like to you?
They just seemed like almost regular people, just that could do different stuff that's really odd.
Right, and did it seem like they were doing heroic things in the trailer? Did they seem good, like they were working for good to you? Or did it seem dark?
I couldn't really tell.
Okay, all right, well that's fair. All right, well from my perspective, obviously X-Men 3, The Last Stand, dealt with the Phoenix storyline somewhat. And after Days of Future Past, they are figuring that they've erased that timeline with that film in Apocalypse, and they're gonna start retelling stories. And this gives them the opportunity to go back and revisit the Phoenix story and tell it in a way that they're satisfied with and hopefully the public is satisfied with. I don't know if they're gonna get that with this film. This seems very confusing. The trailer didn't do much for me as far as getting me excited to see this film. I do think Sophie Turner looks really good in the part. I think she makes a great Jean Grey. I think she's a good actress. I think that's solid. I'm a little confused with Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, because sometimes she looks like Mystique and other times she doesn't, and I'm confused at that changing back and forth. I think here this is Simon Kinberg's love project for Phoenix. He wants to redo this and do it right. I don't think, it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen here. I question whether this thing is ever going to get released. They've pushed back the release date twice on it already. And if they do release it, this would be 20th Century Fox's last hurrah with Marvel and the X-Men series, because Disney has bought this property. And maybe that's really the best thing that could happen to the X-Men property, is for it to go over to Disney, and maybe these characters could be incorporated into other films with other Marvel characters, and it would serve these characters better. I mean, Storm would have been an incredible addition to the Black Panther story. She would have been that would have been a great pairing. It was a great pairing in the comics, and so I think she would thrive there. And certainly the Wolverine character would work very well in the Avengers. And maybe tell some of these stories separately of these characters with other Marvel characters, and then maybe try to bring them together as the X-Men in a similar way that the Avengers were brought together after some of the individual stories started. Also, I think, Deadpool will be incorporated somehow into that at some point. He's a strong character with a bigger fan base. This seems like a bit of a mess to me. So as somebody who's gone through the ups and downs of the franchise, I don't know if this is going to do what they want it to, which is to make everybody forget how poorly the Dark Phoenix story was told the first time around. So, okay, yummy or crummy for you?
Crummy.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to say crummy for me. It doesn't really look like, well, I'll say edible. I'll say edible only because I feel like some of the, Michael Fassbender in here and Sophie Turner and James McAvoy are good actors, and I think they're doing what they can with the part. But trailer-wise, crummy, and in between crummy and edible, I guess I'm going to say. So
It's credible.
credible. I like that, yes. And, with 20th Century Fox giving them up, maybe they're X-Men now.